on. It's going to be family. It's family night.
All right. So I think we can start, Dev.
All right. Okay, I'll start. I just want to start with today's lesson. For those of people who do the lesson on a daily basis, lesson 243. Today I will judge nothing that occurs. And why that is so important is that we have no way of knowing what's going on. I mean, we're into a world, the Course calls an illusion, a dream. Actually, it's a conspiracy theory against the Son of God so that he gets dysfunctional. And the Son of God is the most functional, certain, innocent, complete, perfect being of God. Actually, God extended himself. So we're always talking about ourselves. We look at the world and we judge things. We don't realize that we're really judging God. You can't judge God and really can't judge at all. You might say the only difference between heaven and hell is heaven is judgment proof. Judgment is impossible because we are one, the awareness of perfect oneness. Here we are very dysfunctional and we think that we can be right. This week, I got to say that my own experience is not only do I not want to be right, when he says, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Choose one. I not only want to be happy, but I have no way of being right. But if you're doing the course and you think you want to tell somebody about the course, of course, that's the best way to lose friends. I think everyone here kind of knows that. As Helen Schuckman once said, when they asked her, how many books should we publish? She said, maybe 5 or 6. So Judy Scott says, what do you mean 5 or 6? He says, well, do you really think that people want to read a book that says that you don't exist? Well, that's a true story. And that is what the Course is really saying, that who you are as a body doesn't exist. Who you are as the family of God, as this totally complete, perfect family of God, you not only exist, but you're changeless. You can't change. In this world, a world of judgment, a world of change, a world of time, everything seems to be changing. And what we think one day is certainly not the same as you think the next day. So I just want to say that for me, the term that Rosalind brought to this room a couple of months ago maybe was soft eyes. And if you're using soft eyes and joining with your brothers and sisters and joining with your family, you're actually joining, you're actually becoming one with them. It's not that they are different from you, they are the same as you. And it's in that softness we can actually experience our oneness. And what is heaven but simply an awareness of perfect oneness? One of the nice things about oneness is that there is nothing to fear. Literally, there's nothing to fear in oneness. And I just want to start off with that and just say, it is really so wonderful to be with family. Turning this mic over to you, Rosalind.
All right. Thank you, Dev. All right. So with that sentence, heaven is an awareness of perfect oneness. Let's all gather together, gather ourselves, gather each other, gather into our hearts, and know that in this millisecond, if we allow perfect oneness, perfect happiness exists. And if you would take for a moment whatever you brought into the room today, whether it's a body condition, a concern about money, a concern about lack of any kind, a concern about a relationship and housing or COVID or anything at all. Just notice whatever you brought in. If there was a tug of war, name that tug of war to yourself. Give it a name of a person, a place, or a thing, a feeling, a lack, and give it a number. And then in the next breath, in the very next breath, and the very next breath, know that perfect oneness. Could you mute yourself, everybody? Just take a second to mute yourself. Thank you. Know that in each next breath, there's something that's always the same. Unless there's a disturbance with your breathing, maybe it's my mic. I'm getting an echo. Okay, I'll go like this. All right. Every breath, whether it's shallow, whether it's deep, it gives you the same experience. It gives you the experience of life. We might call some breaths deep, some breaths soothing, some breaths hurried. Sometimes we're not aware of breathing. I'm going to mute everybody. Just a minute. All right, there we go. So you'll have to unmute yourself when you want to speak. So we could judge even our breaths, but right now, we're going to take a deep breath. And since we're all muted, nobody can hear you. Let's make noise with our breaths. Ah. Ah. We even judge the noises we make. And let's leave the judgment. Let's park that judgment right here, right now. And flow and fill the body you thought was separate. Fill it with light energy. And now extend your arms as wide as you can and wiggle your fingertips. And make your shoulders comfortable, but hold yourself straight up as though you're welcoming the all. And whenever you need to, you can put your arms down, but remember this posture. And if you want to keep your arms up, it's fine. We're welcoming the all. We're allowing ourselves to know heaven right here, right now. We're allowing ourselves to know we are one being, undivided, complete, whole, perfect, because being is perfect. Life's perfect. Whether you're a weed or a tulip, your essence is perfection of life. You are the form you're supposed to be. Just like the weed is called a weed, but it's a perfect being. You are the shape and the size and the embodiment of the one being. one being, one essence, indivisible, but also impersonal. What if that's the stumbling block for some of us? We want to be personal, and yet we hurt our personalities. We say we're not good enough. We think we lack. We feel we lack. We want something that we don't have. We imagine there's something we don't have. But when we return to the impersonal love that's always present out in the galaxies, from the sun, from the moon, from the clouds, from the weather. When we leave off our opinion of the weather holds us, the air holds us. We are being held by life. We are the one being held by life. Do you know what the absence of lack is called? What do you call it? Some call the absence of lack happiness. Some call it peace. Some call it heaven. Some call it oneness. And if this is truly our nature, might we not accept ourselves as impersonal? Maybe it was incorrect of us to want to be special. Maybe we were missing the mark and causing this dream, this waking dream of pain and suffering, when we could be living in an impersonal agape love that equals life. All deserve, all are included, all are one. Whoever came before is one with you. You can choose a master. You can choose a beloved. Maybe your beloved is a master. You're a master. We are one being. And for the experience and the witnessing and the claiming of our oneness, we are so grateful, and we bring that oneness to every belief in separation, any thought or feeling in lack. This holy instant would I give you, be you in charge, for I would follow, certain that your direction brings me peace. Now, if there's not a you and an I, then there's just one will, and one holy instant after the next. And we can keep that with us. And bring heaven to the dream. Bring oneness to the dream. We are one being. And so with some soft eyes, you can come back to the room. And I'm going to read you a few sentences while you're coming back and transitioning and bringing your understanding, your experience, your direct experience of the one being into this room. It is not necessary to get rid of thoughts, images, and ideas. Just cease deriving your sense of identity from them. Do not make the sense of separation into a problem that needs to be solved. We cannot understand something we are trying to get rid of. Thinking, sensing, and perceiving are all made of pure knowing. But knowing is not made of thinking, sensing, or perceiving. Today, we know something. We had an experience together. Let's all claim it in our own ways. Thank you, everybody. And as your contribution to the group, if you are willing, put in the chat just a word that comes to you from this meditation, or you could put a sentence, but just a word. My word would be peace. My word would be happiness. My word is I am the beloved. And the lover. Thank you for these words: union, gratitude, joy, content, serenity, connected, love, grace, being, calm, quiet, stillness. It's all so beautiful, all of these expressions. We are the one being. Ease, how beautiful. How beautiful. And I asked Dove if we would just have a little bit of space. I want to give you just a little bit of space as you're coming back. And let's remember that we need to get rid of nothing. We just need to claim what we are and who we are. And then there's no more tug of war. Would anybody like to share anything that came up for you? Did your numbers go down from what they were before? I know it's hard to come back, but let's make it lovely to come back and bring that into our lives.
From 7 to 2 to 0.
Wow. Thank you, Rafi. That's so beautiful. You know, we can share our deepest heart's communication without the stories. We're present. You told us everything there. Does anybody raise your hand? Do you need to know the story that he made up that was a 7? No, right? All you need to know is where he is now. We get so interested in these stories, our own and other people's, right? Anyone else have something to say?
Uh, 8 and 2.
Mm.
And I just feel so be here with you all, to be in this community, and to have these experiences, which feel, we don't want to make them special, but this extraordinary, that it is extraordinary. I'm just going to say it's radical and it's extraordinary, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Yes. And we're gonna make this normal. We're gonna make this our new normal, right? Because we can bring this into the world, into the dream world, the daydream world. Thank you, Robin. So beautiful. Kazi, are you able to put your camera on? I know what you wrote to me, I'm honoring. I think it would be lovely for everybody to see your beautiful face. Or maybe you don't want to put it on. That's okay. Thank you. Yeah, because Kazi's new to our group. Yeah. Rona, how
I came in July, but I haven't met many here.
Oh, that's right. Well, I knew you saw one, but I couldn't remember that you'd been here. Thank you. I see you so many places, it's hard to exactly remember.
That's right.
Dove, do you want to share?
No, I was saying hello to Diane. She just walked in and
Oh, okay.
I wanted to welcome her.
Hi, Diane.
Yeah.
Rona, did you want to share anything of how that was for you? You
May I?
Yes.
I would love to. First, I'm so grateful to be here. When I opened my eyes and just saw everybody's faces, I felt very much like what Robin described, this and love, just pure love. And I sort of looked at all of you and I said, welcome to myself in a way, because this whole day has been, for me, the theme has been just trying to remember that no other bodysuit is separate.
Mm.
I did the course lesson this morning. Today, I will judge nothing that occurs. And so I've been using my Post-it and using that in each story, each circumstance, and then to come here and to wrap up my whole day to listen to you talk about non-judgment and be reminded that I'm called to listen to this and to wake up with just this beautiful community. It brings me so much joy. It makes me just feel so full. I think that's the word that I feel. And I'm just so happy to be here. It's like almost without words, like you guys are teaching me. Sometimes there's no words to describe. So thank you.
Thank you, Rona. It was so beautiful.
Thank you, Rona and Robin. Thank you.
Yes.
And Rafi.
And
Lynn, go ahead.
I love that word full too. Don't you all love that? Because I love when we take a word from another place and put it with a different meaning. I love it. Thank you. And Rico says total love, total freedom, total oneness. So we have no words, I agree, and we have all these other words. Both are true.
Lynn, did you want to say something?
Just wanted to say that this whole thing blows me away. It's real. And the gratitude I have is immense.
Thank you, Lynn.
Rico?
Please, thank you. Good afternoon, good evening. To all these beautiful people, I send you love, light, and well-being from my heart to your spirit. And thank you for letting me be in your presence. I'm not sure if I know Rona, but first I want to say, thank you, Rona. I could feel you just arrow to my heart. You just brought so much love in your share. And I can feel your level of compassion. And I'm not sure, I think I've seen you once before, but I just want to say to you, my friend, thank you. Thank you. I felt you. You touched my heart and left footprints on my soul, so I won't forget you. Thank you. what I wanted to share about that meditation for me is that, and Doug must be clairvoyant because he did today's lesson, and I caught myself in a slight judgment because when you said, when you're ready, come back, I immediately responded with, no, I want to stay here. And I know everything has a lesson or a blessing, or if you're lucky, you get both. And for me, it was that I am going to learn how to be there anywhere. So I thank you for that meditation. That was a good taking to school for me. I appreciate that. I don't need to know how, wherever we were or I was, I could be there all the time. My friend Tony Robbins says, repetition is the mother of skill. So I just have to keep practicing, but in real life, not on the chalkboard. So if nobody told you guys they love you today, I got a God that loves you and I love you more.
Thank you, Rico. Thank you so much. Truly. Okay. As long as you're bringing up lesson 243, I decided I'm going to look at it again because we didn't really go over it. The title of the lesson is Today I Will Judge Nothing That Occurs. And the reason for that is we were never given the ability to judge. There's a line in the course that came after the course was published. These were notes from Helen. It says, grandeur, which is of God, therefore of his son, establishes judgment is impossible. There's nothing outside of the grandeur of the oneness of creation. So who is there to judge? So when you look at the lesson, it says, I will be honest with myself today. I will not think that I already know what must remain beyond my present grasp. I will not think I understand the whole from the little small bits of my perception, which are all that I can see. Today, I recognize that this is so, and so I am relieved of judgments that I cannot make. Thus do I free myself, and what I look upon to be in peace as God created us. The Course says the only reason we get fatigued and depressed is we make judgments, because the mind was never given to make judgments. It was really to choose between, the mind of the ego chooses between one or the other, and it's always judging what's good and what's bad. It came to me this week as I was driving, and I was down on a nice lonely country road, and it came to me that since we are the dreamer of the dream, we are the decision maker, as it says in the Course, you are the decision maker. We, of course, decided literally to deny our true self. That's how we got here. We wanted to be special. But as the dreamer of the dream, we can actually be outside the dream as well. And I realized that when you're inside the dream, it's not so easy because you're still in the ego mind to actually appreciate and to accept all things exactly the way they are. That one paragraph in lesson 135, paragraph 18, he says, what can you not accept if you but knew that everything that seems to happen, all events, past, present, and even to come, are gently planned for you by one whose only purpose is your good. It says in the Course, you can only love a brother if you appreciate a brother. You cannot love what you do not appreciate. So I realize when we look at this dream, I mean, whether you're here in this room right now and you're saying such beautiful things, or maybe life wasn't so beautiful today, or this past weekend, or the month of August. And the month of August is over tonight. And I was saying to John Monday, I'm really glad the month of August is over. We have a brand new month. But it's also about that I can look at the dream, and instead of judging the dream like it was a good day, a bad day, a good month, a bad month, to appreciate, to really appreciate the dream. Because as the dream of the dream, we are outside the dream. That's what the vertical axis is. The horizontal axis is I'm stuck in time, hoping the future is going to be better than the past. But on the vertical axis, when you rise above the battleground and you don't want to make war with yourself anymore, the easiest way home, and home is really where the heart is. You don't have to, it's a journey without distance. The easiest way home is to appreciate the dream, to accept the dream. I'm going to ask Rosalind if you could run that slide.
Mhm.
I asked Rosalind to make a slide for me. Thank you so much, Rosalind.
Mhm.
And when we first started here about 2 or 3 months ago, it was based on the fact that you might have lost somebody very loving and dear to you. And yes, their body left, but did they leave? Did they actually leave? Or did the body, they just dropped the body? Over in India, they don't use the word passed away or died. They use the word he dropped his body or she dropped her body. So when someone drops their body and they're no longer with you, and that doesn't mean that
Can
they,
you see this?
no, it's not there,
Okay.
but that's okay, So
Just
when
a second.
someone leaves you, whether they leave you from this level of bodies, or they just leave your relationship, you can feel hurt, you can feel sorry, you can feel upset, but you do have a choice. You can actually recognize that you are grateful for the love that you had when you were with them, And I had expressed that, like, my wife passed away about 6 months ago. And I can either feel sentimental and sad, or I can be so grateful for the love that is always here. Love is simply, the function of love is oneness. And we were one when we were married. We were one for the 40 years we were married, and we were one now. So bodies have nothing to do with oneness. Oneness is always of the mind. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh. Just a second.
Rosalind just posted the slide. When we, you had it for a second.
It should be there. Is it there?
Well, for a second it was there, but
Does
It's here.
anybody?
I see it. It's here.
oh, you see it? Okay. All right. I see it too. I'm sorry. When we lose somebody, when we lose someone we love, we must learn not to live without them, but to live with the love they left behind, to be grateful for that, to appreciate the love that you have then and you still have now, because love is not something that happens in time. The function of love is our oneness. Right out of the Course, chapter 4, section 6, paragraph 8, the function of love is oneness. Thank you so much, Rosalind, for putting the slide up. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I interrupt? for a
yeah,
second?
please do. Yeah.
I would like to bring up something that might be controversial, but I think it's not. Does anybody raise your hand if you hear a conflict with the end of the saying that if you knew that everything were planned for your good? Do you hear that as your separate good and good versus bad? Or do you hear that as when we start the Course in Miracles, we all started with a belief in a separate self. We all felt guilty. We didn't believe we were innocent, and that there's a layering to the Course. It speaks to us as a separate being, and it speaks to that place of oneness where there's not a good day and a bad day. It's just weather, and we're one being. And I just wanted, I hope that doesn't upset anyone, but I wanted to bring that up for discussion. Does anybody have anything to say about that? Thank you.
I do, Rosalind.
Thank you, John.
I'd just like to briefly make a comment on that, because
Yes,
as you say, it's a layering.
Mhm.
And for me, the feedback I really would like to give you is that last week we had a recording of this, and I played the recording. And Rosalind, I don't know where I was during that program, but I was in a totally different space watching the replay. So all I can tell you know, it's so difficult for me to say about this layering stuff. What does this? What the heck does this all mean? It was unbelievable, what I picked up on the replay. Unbelievable. It's almost like 90% of me wasn't even on that seminar.
But you know what, John? I think that the mind, the small mind, not that mind with the capital M, but the small mind can't hear these things. The oneness, it only knows from the personality. It only knows from the small self. And everywhere I'm going, everybody's saying, I go to the oneness, but I don't hear your words. I don't know what you said. And yet I'm there. And the same is true of me. I sometimes have to say, what did I say? What happened? Because that small mind can't hold on to it, because it's part of the separate self. And that's the good news.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Yay. We're all having that experience. We're having that joint experience about the small mind. Yes. Thank you for that, John. Mhm. Anybody else want to share on that? Or about the good versus the bad, or, it's for your good? Please, Mayfer. You're muted.
Good evening
Good
to
evening.
everyone. I am so blessed. I feel so blessed to be part of this group. Thank you so much. And I want to share that today that I was doing the lesson, I read also the topic that Jesus suggests that we read in this cycle of lessons, that is, what is the word? And I feel so happy that we had another way, and that he is offering to us another way. Because when I read today the first line in the second paragraph that say, the word was made as an attack on God, and in Spanish, the translation is, the word was made as an aggressive action on God, right? And for me was like the opportunity to see that and forgive myself, and bring to the Holy Spirit all the actions of aggressive that I saw, because and realize that in every time that we judge someone, we are attacking God. Every time that I see you like a body, I am attack God. And for me, this is so important, and I am so grateful that there is another way, because God did not create this world, that this is a fabrication, and it's not real, and we are dreaming. And that is that I wanted to share with you, because it's like it's according with that we are talking. Right?
That's so
Thank you.
beautiful, Mayfer. And you know what I hear when you say, and I hear this for the first time today, instead of the way I heard it for 30 years, when we're attacking God, we're attacking ourselves, because there is only one.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. And it's like my compromise that if I attack before, right? Because I think that we all attack before in some way. It's like I don't want to do that anymore. And I ask the Holy Spirit, I bring you my errors. I bring you the errors of my mom, of my father, because I grow in a family in aggressive family, you know. And it's like they never were that, right? And it's okay. This is my opportunity again to compromise myself, to say I want to relate with everyone in love, in respect, in peace. Thank you.
Thank you. You're inspiring us. Thank you for that teaching.
Thank you.
Dove, do you have a comment?
Lynn has her hand up. Thank you, Mayfa. Thank you so much. Lynn?
I just want to say, as far as what you were talking about, Rosalind, I see it that way. I was just thinking about lesson 135 today, and it's like we flow as one, and like the butterfly spreads his wings one way and it affects someone on the other end of the world. So everything is good for the whole, which I can't figure out, but it's not meant to be figured out. Just trust it.
I love what you added, the good for the whole. Oh my goodness, Lynn, that's gorgeous. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
The good for the all. Thank you. Dove, do you have something to say on this?
Yeah, well, actually, the good for the all. He uses a line way back in chapter 4, the very first sentence in section 5. It says, "All things happen for the good. All things happen for the good." And then it says, "There are no exceptions to this. There are no exceptions except in the judgment of the ego." And talking about judgment, that is today's lesson. Let me be honest with myself. I can't possibly judge. That's the reason many years ago, I thought that I knew everything the Course was saying, and I did. But that wasn't helping me join with my brothers and sisters knowing anything. That's why I adopted lesson 25 as my mantra lesson. Lesson 25 says, "I do not know what anything is for." The truth is, we don't know. That's exactly what this lesson 243 is. Well, let me be honest. I can't possibly know from the little bits of perception that I have. And perception is only an interpretation. It's not a fact. It's an interpretation. And as Kenny Wapnick would say, who is your interpreter? Always be on the right ladder with the right teacher. I mean, you could be doing the Course in Miracles, and the ego loves doing the Course in Miracles, does, because it learns so much, it learns stuff it never knew before. But then we'll use this to not join and become one with a brother. It'll say how right I am and how wrong you are, and that's just a continuation of separation. Oh.
I think it helps to understand. I'll go right to you, Diane.
Diane?
Yes,
Yeah.
the personal brings the suffering. The impersonal is that oneness that we experienced in meditation. Because we hold on to that personal, we have to find some goodies in the impersonal, because otherwise we don't want to let go. And then we're back where David was describing. Diane, please. You're muted, my dear.
Sorry. When I read, there's so much confusion in the you singular and you plural. Mm-hmm. And it can lead to a lot of confusion and stuff. And I just read every single one of those as plural, mm-hmm. because there's only one and there is no other. So anytime it says, for the good of all, or for you are good, it's got to be plural, because the the Holy Spirit would not be speaking to our singular individual separated self. So it's
Exactly.
lucky.
Brilliant.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you for that teaching too. John.
I just want to pop in on that, Diane. I really love what you said, because that's it. It went straight from David's share. And what I just want to say this, what I'm getting out of this is what you said before about appreciation, acceptance, and gratitude. And I'm so grateful that I'm here listening to this stuff. It's amazing. And if I look at this replay, I hope that I can accept that, that I am participating in this in a full way, because this is amazing.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Rafi.
Several of the masters, and even Deepak Chopra, put it very succinctly. I'm paraphrasing some of them, they use different synonyms, but it came down to everyone and everything is working toward my ultimate good, my ultimate truth. And that simple statement covered it all. There's not one nanosecond that goes on in this dream world that isn't here to help us. Like Lester Levinson used to say, it's not real, but it's perfect. And it's helping you get where you need to get for a place that you never left. So that's why I just wanted to throw that in.
Love it. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else at all? I think that it's kind of important to remember that we're always talking about our family of one. It's a family of one. The function of love is one. It's a loving family. What is a family? It's a oneness. So whenever we think that we want to be right at the expense of somebody else's being wrong, we're not joining. We're actually being the ego. The ego just wants to keep the separation going. It has no desire to become one. It doesn't know what oneness is. It doesn't know what equality is. So equality is that we are the equal members of the same family. It's the family of God. Literally, it's the family of one. And I now use the word one instead of sometimes the word God. I mean,
I love it too.
It literally translates to truth. God is one. God is, love is, peace is. It's a oneness. Yeah.
We are.
We are one. Yeah.
We are. We are.
We are. Yeah.
We are one being. How do you feel about just that one phrase? We are the one being. How does it land on you? We are the one being.
Better than I am the one being.
Yeah. But even I am the one being, because when we contract, that just shows us, reveals where we're not good enough, where we believing we're separate. So it's nothing. But it's evidence. Oh, I forgot. I am that space where everything is one. I belong. I am good enough because there's no separate I. So I like that when there's the contraction, because it shows that for that millisecond, I separated myself.
It may be helpful to also say we are not two. That's the meaning of Advaita. We are not two. Not two is the same as we are one.
Mm-hmm.
That's like non-dual.
Yes, non-dual. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's tricky when we say not, because I love it because it shakes up my brain, and that's the good part. But then if I say to you, do not think of a pink elephant, don't think of it. Don't think of it. Do not think of it. How long did it take you to think of a pink elephant? So but it wakes us up when we hear that, and that's the good part. And then we can go back to the oneness, which has no opposite. And that's what the non-dual is. It means just that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's why the function of the teacher of God is forgiveness. Forgiveness is actually a denial of the denial. Sometimes you're right. Sometimes it's not easy to say, do not. But at some point, the do not is really just looking at whatever it is and seeing that it's nothing, seeing that it's nothing.
mhm.
I was listening to some of you may have heard it from Reverend Kevin Rice from Unity on the Bay in Florida. He had a topic called the nothingness of something.
Mhm.
The nothingness of something. He said he heard that from Ken Wapnick many years ago. It's the nothingness of something that we made up.
Mhm.
And forgiveness looks and does nothing, because if you did anything, you would make it into something.
Absolutely. And the non-dual has a whole tradition of enlightenment that's called the neti neti. And it's just like the Course where it says, I'm not a body. I'm not this, I'm not a woman, I'm not my skin, I'm not my education, I'm not my money, I'm not. And then you're left with nothing, which is everything.
Yeah.
And so, we have to play with these small minds that want to hold on to identities, and whatever shakes us up, it is our gift.
Well, I think it does shake us up to have the not thrown in, because now we have a dual pathway in neurology, and it collapses it by going there, because it identifies that there is another way, and we have been going the opposite way.
Yes.
So it puts us back in a choice spot.
Mm-hmm. Anything that wakes us up from the dream, right? Don't you love to be woken up when you're just kind of blindly going in a certain direction, and then oops? Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's not always fun. It's true. When you have to look at how you've been attacking or whatever in judging. But then underneath that, when we come back home, it's so good to be home.
Yeah.
Like I laughed, I've said.
I want to thank Pat, who says we is the one being. Don't forget to laugh. And that reminds me, whenever you take anything seriously, it's the ego. Only the ego takes things seriously. In a dream, you got to laugh. Laughter now saves lifetimes later, because if you take anything seriously, you have to come back and do the lesson all over again, because there's nothing here that's real.
So beautiful. Pat, do you have, Pat Luboff, do you have some music for us tonight?
Well, if you want to hear that song that Dove likes so much, I can always play that.
Sure.
You can play that, or anything that you feel drawn to play.
Well,
Love your music.
I like to do a love life. What the love? I said love instead of dove. Well, that's just right, isn't it? Let me see if I can. I know I can find it. It just takes a little going. So let's see where it is. This is a very hard time of night for me, because I have fish that expect me at a certain time and a dog that expects me at a certain time. So and the fish's clocks, they run with their own clocks. So that's why I can't really stay here, but I'm listening very intently. Here you go. Here's the song.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat.
Go, go, go. Where are you? It's supposed to be going. Come on. Sometimes it don't want to cooperate. Let's see.
Or you can pick another song if it doesn't want to go.
Well, it should. Here goes. Ha. Uh-oh. doesn't want to. How about this one? Maybe this will go.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just don't want to go at all. Let's see. We're going to just start all over again. Sometimes you got to restart it just to show who's boss. No, we don't want to cooperate tonight. Let's see, I can acapella it, so there, you can.
Okay. That'd be
Not a
lovely.
good thing, right? So what I have to do then is just find the technical difficulties. It's coming, it's coming. There we go. We can overcome all such technical difficulties. Hey, baby, you want to come sing with me? Okay, we're going to sing this a cappella. Oh, well, perfect. It's perfect, the first line, because it goes with our lesson today. Well, I let go of my judgments. I let go of my fears. Let go of my chains and I am free. I become one of God's children. I feel his love for me. I have been given everything I need. Love is the way. Love is the way. Love is the way. I walk in gratitude. Love is the way. I see the light in you. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Well, I reach out to my brothers, reach out to forgive, reach out for help to understand. There is just one way to heaven. You can't get in alone. We have to walk and sing hand in hand. Love is the way. Love is the way. Love is the way. I walk in gratitude. Love is the way. I see the light in you. Love is the way I walk in gratitude.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Dove.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Dove, and that rhymes with love. Oh, I didn't have, you weren't watching me then. I didn't have my video on, but I was been having a lot of fun. Oh, here I am.
Oh, there you are. You have your video on now.
Okay,
Love it.
Dove, I
Thank you.
can't hear you.
You do have your video
Are
on
you
now.
muted?
Thank you
I'm-
so much,
I'm-
Pat. We enjoyed that so much.
Okay. Oh, I know.
Thank you, everybody, for tonight. We love you. We are
Thank
the
you.
fun.
Thank you.
You.
Mwah.
Blessings.
Hey, did you all hear that?
Gracias. God bless.
I couldn't tell whether you heard me or not. Did you hear me?
We heard every word and we feel blessed. Thank you, Pat. It was quite special to hear you just do it a cappella. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
You could feel your heart even more when the music wasn't in the background. Yeah.
Mhm.
Love you all.
Love you all. Mwah.
God bless.
God bless.
Yes. A miracle for all.
Mhm.